What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at Brigand's Law, which is a arc rapid fire sidearm that was introduced in Season of Plunder. In many ways it is the small cousin to the Tarnished Metal, which is a scout rifle that was also introduced in this season, which is very much thought of highly. And so this is a miniature, different kind of version to it, but kind of playing to the same strengths that we have in Tarnished Metal. Now, since this is a seasonal weapon, of course, that means it's craftable as well, which means that eventually you'll be able to put together the exact PVE or PvP version of the sidearm that you're looking for. However, when we look at the base stats of this weapon, we have a fairly okay-ish impact stat for a sidearm, terrible range, very decent stability, and okay-ish handling with decent-ish reload speed coming in the rear. What we're going to try and do on both sides, whether we're looking at PvE or PvP, is we're going to try and accentuate these stats while definitely buffing our range by quite a bit, and then see which traits we can lean into to have this sidearm produce some unique situations. Going straight into the PvP version of this, we are going to be slapping on a arrowhead break for our barrel, simply due to the fact that we do have a small amount of recoil, a small amount of bounce intensity here, which of course arrowhead break is going to eliminate for us, while also increasing our handling a bit, meaning that we're going to have faster swaps into the weapon. We're going to pair that with accurized rounds in the magazine so that we get additional range here. Range is by far our weakest stat on this weapon, so we definitely want to be buffing that up. Even though, yes, the idea is that with sidearms you are engaging in, let's say, close to medium range. The idea is that you want to give yourself a little bit more range just to cap off the distance at which you can engage from. Now, in our first trait here, we are absolutely picking up perpetual motion, which is a fantastic trait in PvP, simply due to the fact that most of the times your gunfights are going to be done on the move. You very rarely stand still and shoot, in case of maybe sniper rifles and certain scout rifles where you are engaging the enemy first without them knowing where you are. You can get away with standing still, but generally speaking with sidearms you will be in the mix, you will be up close, or in some cases you'll be using your sidearm as the finish off weapon when you are actually fighting an enemy with something else. So you could pop an enemy down to, you know, basically having almost like one shot kill potential or one burst, and then you can just swap to your sidearm and finish them off. And all of this time you are moving while you're doing that, so you're going to be benefiting from the additional stability, handling, and reload speed that comes with perpetual motion. Now, we do pair that with Adagio. Adagio is our second trait, which basically gives us increased damage. So after you defeat an enemy, after you kill one enemy, it slows down your rate of fire with this weapon and gives you 30% increased damage with the weapon at the same time. So what you're going to see is a situation where if you're going into a 2-4 or a 3 situation, you're going to kill the first guy, and then your weapon damage is going to like increase while you're actually able to shoot slower, which could potentially actually help you with landing bullets easier as well. So with these two pairing together, it really does give you that incredible fast moving style, but still the ability to control your burst, control your fire, and hopefully land your shots and kill the enemy. Now, in the masterwork, we absolutely pair this with range, and I didn't mean to forget the origin trait. Of course, we have right hook as the origin trait here, which basically says that when you melee, when you deal melee damage, then you have increased target acquisition and range, which again helps out a little bit. So sometimes you can be in a situation where you come around a corner, someone's right there, something like that, you can melee them, jump off them, and then just give them a couple of shots to the chest and kill them. So right hook can help you out in situations like that, but whether we are playing in a PvE or PvP perspective, right hook is not like a phenomenal trait in either one of those, but a little bit of help to the range is of course you know, something that's great. Now, speaking of range, we again get back to the masterwork. As I was saying, here we're going to go for range here. The weapon has insanely high stability to begin with already, so we really don't need to be upping that. Handling is also fairly decent, as is our reload speed. So really the lacking stat here for us is range. Generally speaking, with my weapon build guides, I favor range in any case because I like to fight from a further range on enemies, and especially due to the way that the meta is set up right now, particularly in PvP, it is a sidearm meta. And so if you can give yourself any kind of advantage over other sidearm users, then you should definitely do that. Last but not least, in our mod slot, we are taking freehand grip because generally speaking, with most weapons, you're going to be engaging, and shooting and then aiming down, ADSing and then shooting the enemies. This is scout rifles, pulse rifles, and all of that. However, in the case of sidearms and submachine guns, you generally sometimes kill enemies from the hip. So with this particular sidearm, and due to the fact of its, pray and spray nature, where essentially it's a rapid fire frame, so you open up and you just shoot your clip clean on enemies, you will want to be doing this sometimes from your hip, and so you can have maximum battle awareness and also don't slow yourself down. So freehand grip is going to help you here by not losing as much accuracy and actually making those shots go where they're supposed to, which is the enemy's fucking body. Then getting us over to PVE, and why I said that this is a miniature tarnished metal, and in some cases actually better, is because this thing chews through trash enemies like a fucking blender. So in the barrel, we're going to start with corkscrew rifling, just giving us stability, range, and handling across the board. Really good just to increase all of those stats incrementally by a little bit. We're going to pair that with tactical mag in our magazine slot, simply due to the fact that this is going to give us blisteringly fast reload speeds while being paired with some of the traits which we're going to talk about just now. And it's actually just going to give us even more stability to make sure that we don't miss any of the shots. Now, our trait 1 and 2 intrinsically feed very well into each other. In trait 1, we have Feeding Frenzy, which basically says that each rapid kill with this weapon increases your reload speed for a short time. Now, when you pair that with trait 2, which is Vault Shot, which is of course made famous by Tarnished Metal, basically saying that after you kill an enemy and you reload, it gives your next bullet jolt. It means that you are now have this engine where you can shoot, jolt, you can shoot, proc the effect, reload, and now you're reloading fast because you have tactical mag and because you have Feeding Frenzy. Then your next bullet jolts, you burst down 2 or 3 more enemies. By the time your clip is almost empty, you reload. Now again, you proc from the fast reload or Feeding Frenzy. So pretty much the more enemies, the more trash enemies the game throws at you, the faster you'll be able to mow them down. And jolt's gonna just basically disrupt the entire battlefield and just take these things down super fast. Now, on the origin trait, of course, we have right hook. The same thing that I said on the PvP side here matters. The fact is, yes, this does give you better target acquisition and range after you land a melee kill. Well, sorry, actually, it's not a kill, it's just melee damage. But after you land that, but generally speaking with this, yeah, you can mix some melees and stuff in there, but you're going to be chewing through the small enemies, the trash enemies so fast that this benefit isn't really going to be that big a deal. And that's why right hook is not really like a fantastic addition here, but it's also not a massive detractor to the build, whether you're doing PvE or PvP. We're absolutely pairing it with a range masterwork like we did before, simply due to the fact that this is, again, as I said on the PvP side, the weakest stat on this. So anything we can do to buff this up is going to just bring range more in range with some of those weaker stats. In the weapon mod, of course, we throw in Minor Spectre. This is our trash disposal weapon. This is what we use to just lay waste to all of the small to medium sized enemies in the game. And so Minor Spec is of course what you want to be doing there, because it's gonna help you deal 8% more damage to them, which stacks up over time and is no slouch. Now, as usual, on the screen right now is your screenshot cheat sheet, so you can see both the PvE and the PvP version of this weapon that we just discussed. You can take a screenshot, you don't have to keep coming back to the video. And that's also going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Let me know how you've set up your Brigand's Law, if you prefer using another sidearm. If you like this little pocket rocket, I like rocking this for my vault shot needs. I don't always want to be using tarnished metal, simply due to the fact that I think I've used tarnished metal too much. So this gives me another options to still lean into vault shot, and I really do like this effect on this weapon. And so this sometimes sees quite a bit of play when I'm running strikes and everything like that, and you want to be quickly going through a whole bunch of small enemies. But again, like I said, thank you so much for watching. It's super important to me that you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are in the world. And until next video, fucking cheers.
They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me.